This is Inside Troy Athletics, a look at what's going on and what's coming up for Troy University's Trojans. Now, here's your host for Inside Troy Athletics, Jonathan Sellers.
Hello and welcome to Inside Troy Athletics. I'm Jonathan Sellers, and this week I'm joined by Sandy Atkins of the Troy Athletics Department. And Sandy, a very busy week last week, as homecoming always is, lots of activities, and I'm sure you were a part of it with a lot of it going on and got to see a lot of alumni coming back.
Yeah, it was it's twofold. There are a lot of activities, but it also drives a lot of individuals back on campus. Right. We had soccer and volleyball Friday night. We had a softball alumni reunion. Of course, the football game, and then into Sunday soccer and volleyball again. So, but I did see a lot of student athletes coming back. I saw a lot of former football players, women's basketball players. So it was really good to see faces that you hadn't seen in a while come back on campus.
Well, and that's right. And the football team had a big win again. They have done well, 5-1 now. But I think the telling thing is their success is shown in the crowd. The seventh largest crowd ever in the stadium, but the top ever for a Sun Belt game, and nearly 24,000 people, and that was a great showing.
It's amazing. Winning certainly helps, but it's the excitement of everything that's surrounding the program right now. And it's everything that's touching the program, which drives that, and people just they want to be a part of that. We want to share those experiences with individuals and vice versa. We almost had 24,000 at the football game, right. Just a little bit short of 24,000. So great crowd, tremendous crowd, and to win the game on top of that was great because we started off a little slow, right. But the crowd got involved, and it was a great weekend.
And I know we'll go ahead and continue with football. They're looking to continue things this week with a big Thursday matchup. I know everybody's excited about it as we play South Alabama, a big rival. I know the students have really bought in. If you check social media, you can tell that. But that game will be Thursday night, and I know there is a big contingent of not only students but just fans, the band, going down to Mobile.
Last year we started the Battle of the Belt, and with South Alabama winning the game last year and taking the belt home. Certainly we've got some revenge coming for them. So, that's a tradition that started amongst the students between South Alabama and Troy. So, I think the Troy students have just taken a tremendous effort to try to, draw a big crowd down at South Alabama. Earlier, a couple of weeks ago, I'd spoken to SGA, and they said they were taking some buses down. Right. And, I said, well, hey, we'll match you bus for bus. Right. And, they continue to keep filling up buses.
And that's great. That's great to see that engagement, and hopefully that will continue not only for big games like that, but for the rest of the home games. Still 3 more home games left this year. So.
Oh yeah, we've had a great student crowd, not this year, but the students have been very supportive, and they've always filled up the student section. Right. So those guys have been tremendous. And certainly after South, and we'll have a weekend off, and then we'll be coming into a 3-game homestand. Right. So I think the schedule really sets up well for us moving forward.
And I know there's been the question of times for those games. You still see to be determined, and I'm sure y'all are getting that question a lot, but you can't announce those times, or those times aren't released until 12 days prior to those games, right?
That is correct, and you are correct. Okay. We do get a lot of phone calls about that. We do have a television contract with the conference office, so they could technically still pick up a game up to 12 days before the actual contest itself. So it really prohibits us from releasing game times prior to those 12 days.
But they will be coming out shortly. So.
Absolutely.
All right,
I promise.
And just talking about some other things from the weekend, soccer team, they had their senior day on Sunday where they got a big win, but they also Friday faced a tough newcomer to the Sun Belt in Coastal Carolina.
Right, Coastal Carolina has they just not coming into our league, and they're tremendous in a lot of sports. They are currently in first place in soccer, and so we did battle them for a long time. They eventually ended up winning the game, but of course we came back Sunday and won that contest. So I think it sets up well for us. We have a road series this coming up weekend, and then that leads us into the soccer conference tournament. So.
And then volleyball, a hard-fought, emotional match on Friday night, just losing 3-2 to Georgia Southern, and then again losing on Sunday.
Volleyball has, if you've been to a volleyball match, the girls play very, very hard. And, they've been in every single match. And, sometimes they just can't seem to, the ball doesn't seem to bounce their way sometimes. And so they have struggled a little bit, but they are still very determined and they still fight very hard during their matches.
And still plenty of chances to see them at home this year. They've got several remaining for fans to get out there and support them.
Yep. After South Alabama Thursday night in football, we turn around and play them October 25th in Trojan Arena for our home volleyball match.
All right. And then several teams playing right now. I know golf is out there right now and playing well. Right.
Yes. They continue from this past year. Both men and women's golf are getting into some fall tournaments. Top 3 finishes. I did check earlier today, and we're currently in second place in the tournament. There's still one more day left to play in that. So. And
then not this weekend, but the following weekend is a big one for the cross country teams as they get to host the conference meet.
Yeah, we're doing something different this year. We are hosting the Sun Belt Conference cross country event, and we decided to take that down to Dothan. So it actually is being hosted on our Dothan campus, and if you're heading down 231, you see that large field in front of the campus. So it's a great opportunity to let us start the cross country event there, and there's some trails that run behind the campus. So it's a really neat cross country layout. We've already run a couple of events there this year already, getting ourselves prepared for the Sun Belt Conference tournament.
Yeah, we've talked to Coach Elliott Blount about it, and he's very excited, and I know is hoping for a big crowd to support them that day. And I believe it starts at around 10 o'clock.
It starts at 10.
Okay, so hopefully they'll get a big crowd out there. And then also another event to kind of bring fans out is going to be Trojan Madness, and this is something that's been done the past few years and really had a great turnout. And that's going to be again this year.
Yes, it's actually going to be following the volleyball match on October 25th.
Okay.
So hopefully we'll draw a big crowd of volleyball match and stay over for the Trojan Madness. We'll have a dunk contest, 3-point contest with the teams.
And both basketball teams, they've got practice underway, and I know everybody's looking forward to their schedule starting as well. So.
Yeah, actually the preseason poll came out for women's basketball today. Men's basketball isn't released until tomorrow, and Troy's picked first in the Sun Belt Conference preseason poll for women's basketball.
And that's exciting news. I know anybody that got to see them last year, they won the conference tournament and got a chance to make it to the NCAA tournament, and hopefully they'll get to do the same this year.
Absolutely.
All right, well, thank you for joining us.
Sure thing.
Join us again. Stay tuned for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And we are back here on Inside Troy Athletics, and we're going to talk some baseball with an assistant coach for the baseball team, and that's Coach Shane Gerke. And Coach, y'all are in the middle of fall right now, and basically 4 weeks in, and so you've got to see a good bit of your team. And what are you thinking so far of how it's been going?
Well, we had a good measuring stick on Sunday with playing Ontario, the amateur team out of Canada, the Blue Jays, and I think that Sunday was a good test for us as far as getting some new guys out there and seeing some of the older veteran guys get out and show the maturity they've gained over the off season and through the summer. And we're excited about our club, and I think they went out and proved that on Sunday that they're ready to take the next step. So it was exciting to see.
And you've got several returners back, especially on the offensive side, and that's probably going to be a key for your team this year.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, when you can bring back your closer that had 10 saves last year with Corey Childress, and still up in the air whether he's going to stay in the closing role or go to the starting role on the weekend. Mark Skinner back, a guy that's kind of been a mainstay in the bullpen for the last 3 years going into his senior year. Bringing back Joey Dennison, all-conference player, and had an incredible summer up in the New England League. And with our starting catcher back and Coach Smart, or Chase Smart, and a lot of great pieces, with Matt Sanders back at shortstop. Anytime that you can return the core of the middle of the field with Brandon Lockridge at second base, Chase behind the plate, and Whitaker in center field, along with the new guy Mac Hathcock from Northwest Florida, which started on the national championship team in 2015 for Northwest Florida. It's big to have that core of the middle back.
Now, I know the schedule hadn't been released yet. It should be coming out soon, but we do know the Sun Belt teams that we play in, and Sunbelt's always a strong conference, strong again last year, and I know it just got even better with the addition of Coastal Carolina, the World Series champions. So I know that's just another team y'all have to scout for. So what are your thoughts on that?
I think it makes everybody in the league better.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot's been said about Coastal coming in, especially on the baseball end, because it's for me, it's helped me being the recruiting coordinator. It's helped me in the recruiting process, because baseball is different than football and basketball. And that's our message is, we can all compete. Look at Coastal Carolina.
Right.
And it's not the same. And I really think that it's going to help our league. They got a great venue, and we go there this year. So it's, for us, the more the merrier. It makes our league better. It makes everybody better. It gives us that national recognition as a conference. And, we look forward to going to Coastal this spring.
Now, I know you said you're about 4 weeks into the fall, so how much more longer do you have in the fall, and then when will you pick up in the spring?
We enter squad this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then we come back and enter squad Tuesday night, and then we'll have another weekend of enter squads the following week, and then we'll finish up with our Fall World Series that following Thursday and Friday in November, that last weekend, or that first weekend in November. So we're near the finish line. We still got some work to do to get through the fall, but we're excited where we're at this point. So it's been a great fall. I can't tell you how nice it is to have a lot of guys back.
Right.
Especially someone who coaches the position players. Where we were all new last year, and it was my first year as well. So it's been a great fall, and the guys have really grinded through a lot of stuff that we throw at them, and it's been nice.
All right, Coach. Well, I know y'all don't get really things started until February, but y'all are in the grind right now. So hopefully y'all will keep at it, and we'll talk to you come February.
Yeah, thank you.
All right, join us again for more coming up on Inside Troy Athletics. And we're back for our final segment here on Inside Troy Athletics, and we're going to talk some volleyball with the head coach of that program, and that's Coach Sonny Kirkpatrick. And Coach, it was a tough weekend for your team on Friday. Just a hard-fought, emotional match in front of a very large crowd, thanks to homecoming. But against Georgia Southern, one of the top teams in the Sun Belt, fought them to 5 sets. And what are your thoughts on that one?
First off, the arena and the atmosphere was amazing.
Right.
The pep band, the sororities and fraternities that came out with the promotional night, and it was a lot of fun, and honestly we played really well. A couple points here or there we could clean up, but if you look at the season as a whole to that point, that was probably our best match of the year in terms of competing every point and maintaining the game plan that we had set forth.
And I got to be there, and I was on the edge of my seat for that one. And as you said, it was just back and forth, but it came down to just the last few points. And do you think maybe your team played again on Sunday and dropped that one 3-0 to Georgia State? Do you think that maybe some of that from Friday carried over to Sunday, just some of that emotion that they played with on Friday?
Honestly, I don't know. We challenge them every day to make sure that each day they are mentally prepared for matches, and I'm not going to use that as an excuse, because in general we were not ready to come out and compete the same way we did Friday night. I think if we compete the same way we did Friday night, Sunday, there's a really good chance for us to win that match. Unfortunately, we didn't bring that intensity or that focus, and that is something that we as a coaching staff have to try to figure out what to do to make sure that we are ready to compete on a daily basis. If we compete like that, we are definitely not in the streak that we're in right now. And we need to figure out a way to get a win so that they can feel a little bit better about the hard work they're putting in.
And I know a few weeks back you had come in here talking about everything was open, all jobs were open, and we've seen it in the past few weeks. You used some new lineups, used some new players. Sydney Pineda is somebody who stepped in and got to play some. Logan Page has really come on strong, and it's a lot of your younger players, and you think they've kind of stepped up in practice as well as those games as well?
They have, and our seniors have done a great job too. It's just it's their 4th or 5th year playing here, and their bodies are breaking down. So we have to make sure that they have adequate rest to be able to compete. Our young kids have stepped in, and Sydney, the kind of the crux of our season, Sydney was playing really well, was hitting 364, got a kill to get us out of rotation, came out of the match and said, "Coach, my back." So we sent her to the trainer, and she was held out the rest of the match because of her back. So, honestly, we can't win for losing right now. And it's just one of those things. It's the daily grind, and they've had a really good attitude, and they've worked extremely hard in practice. And Logan Page has had a great year. Her redshirt freshman year, we had 4 freshmen on the court multiple times this weekend, and Sunday we couldn't get anything clicking, so we played every one of our 14 players that were dressed. And we've got to do what we have to do in order to try to get a win.
And then you get that opportunity this week. You've actually got 3 games, Friday, Sunday, and then again on Tuesday against the Arkansas schools, Arkansas Little Rock and Arkansas State, and then South Alabama. Can you kind of preview those matches for us?
Oh, it's a long trip. The Arkansas schools are really good. Little Rock, we've only beaten them 3 times in our history, and only once in Little Rock. So we've got to play our best there to be able to compete. And then Arkansas State's the defending conference champions, and they're at the top of the conference again. So we've got to really figure out a way to make sure that we're dialed in, ready to play. And if we do that, we always have a chance to compete and a chance to win. And that's what we keep preaching to the players. Tuesday night is a huge rivalry match. It kind of goes along with the whole South Alabama theme for us the last couple weeks. And we always look forward to playing at home, and they're on the same road trip as us, so it's not like we have to get home and we have such a disadvantage. They have the exact same trip that we do.
Right. And so basically what you're saying about the South Alabama game is you want to remind the students that it doesn't end Thursday.
Exactly.
That carried it over to Tuesday.
Exactly. It's another 6 days past that, and come on out and renew some energy and be ready to go on Tuesday night.
All right, Coach. Well, thank you, and we'll be with you again next week.
Thanks, Jonathan.
All right. Join us again next week for more here on Inside Troy Athletics.